In which way are information and self-consciousness interconnected? The information center point, the source of information's manifestation in space-time, is located in self-consciousness. Only issue is that self-consciousness realizes through the infinite set of forms. And the fact that you perceive yourselves at the moment as human form absolutely doesn't mean that at the same moment you don't realize yourselves as self-consciousness through other forms, planetary, stellar, galaxy, universe forms, or some other forms. Your conception about yourself as a human person is very, very subjective. And it depends exactly on the combination of those fragments which at the present moment form your focus configuration. The focus configuration is a set of focuses which have been resonationally gathered due to covariantность of information, but which have been dissonationally formed due to that energy, which should be spent on bringing all configuration to full resonation with respect to each other and to the environment. Self-consciousness is something that represents information in the universe. I repeat once more. Self-consciousness is the whole set of those conceptions which have been manifested on every manifestation level of many millions dimensions. These conceptions offer overall representation about information in general and about its different combinations. Information may be in such combinations, and in infinitely others in general. And these combinations, conceptions about it, have been created through realization possibilities, through something what we call creativity, life creativity, personal creativity. But in other dimension diapasons, this creativity gains completely different types of manifestation. This is self-consciousness. And then, information which structures the self-consciousness divides itself on self-consciousness forms through rhizomeral structures. Let's talk about planetary form, about Galgama, which people used to call the soul, and which is actually completely different from what people think about it. So, the self-consciousness forms are differentiated on the variety of types. There are the animal, the vegetable, the mineral kingdoms in our dimension diapason. Here we have third, fourth dimension, and we realize in it only as human form. But all Galgama protoforms are manifested up to the 12th dimension. They are self-consciousness forms which cognize themselves in these levels and not only on this planetary entity, but in many other planetary entities, and do penetrate through the universes of all types, where the synthetic manifestation type exists. The source of information's manifestation in the universe is a self-consciousness. Furthermore, the self-consciousness creates forms. These forms are formed by means of modeling of information that exists in the self-consciousness. This modeling of information in every possible way and combinations leads to manifestation of forms. In particular, elementary particles are self-consciousness forms. Atoms are self-consciousness forms. Molecules are self-consciousness forms. Different entities are self-consciousness forms, starting from viruses, bacteria, and ending with us, animals, plants, planets, star entities, galactic scales, and universe scales. What are the universe entities? They are basically the same personality. Look at yourself and imagine that you are structured with not only elementary particles, atoms and molecules, which form our body's cells, but here is the universe entity, which is manifested in the given diapason of the third, fourth dimension, and it's the same your personality. The only difference is that it's structured by all possible self-consciousness forms of other personalities, other entities, and absolutely different forms that could be possibly present in configuration. And this universe entity, which realizes itself as a personality, generates all manifestation conditions of the universal, plasmic, differentiating radiation, in which our focus dynamics develops, and from which we are strongly dependent. Imagine how much information should be in the universe entity's focus dynamics if all the experience and all the information possessed by all entities manifested simultaneously on all planets and in all galaxies would be brought together. That is why continuum is so huge. That is why rotation shifts, which define speed of the universe entity's focus dynamics, and also our rotation shifts, differ so strongly. One quantum shift in the universe entity's focus dynamics includes all quantum shifts of every each of us and of all entities and forms that exist not only on Earth, but in all galaxies. You can imagine that one quantum shift in the universe entity's focus dynamics equals by range to approximately hundreds billions or even trillions years, which are structured by our individual quantum shifts. Information is reflected in the universe through the self-consciousness and through forms, which are structured by information itself. The information models, structures these forms through the space-time effect and reflects them as a certain focus dynamics. Because, in principle, both time and space are results of focus dynamics, results of interactions which have been carried out by means of energy, meaning energy which has been put into the given information's quality structures the time, which in turn manifests and defines space, and then the given form will realize itself in this space. If these interactions are of low quality, there will be the one continuum's type, and there will be the other continuums with higher quality. In case of very high quality, there will be the third continuum's type. I mean, the question about what is initial, matter is form or self-consciousness, has no meaning for me.
Для меня не стоит. Такого вопроса нет. То есть
There
есть
is no such question. Only information does exist.
из этой информации.
Everything else has been modeled from this information, including what we define as matter, as form.